The salvage yards of Kepler Station stretched endlessly into the asteroid belt's shadow, a graveyard of broken starships and forgotten dreams. Ana Martinez picked her way through the twisted metal and crystalline debris, her scanner beeping steadily, as she searched for anything valuable enough to justify the trip out here. She'd been working the Outer Rim salvage routes for 3 years now, ever since the Terran Colonial Authority had cut funding to the xenobiology research program. Her doctorate in interspecies communication meant nothing when bureaucrats decided that understanding alien languages was less important than mining rights. So here she was, crawling through wreckage with a plasma cutter and dreams of finding something worth enough to buy passage to the inner worlds. The scanner's pitch changed, indicating organic matter ahead. Ana frowned. Biologicals rarely survived the vacuum long enough to register on her equipment. She followed the signal around a massive chunk of what looked like a Zephyrian pleasure craft, its gossamer wings torn and blackened. That's when she heard it, a soft whimpering sound barely audible through her suit's audio pickups. Ana's heart rate spiked. Nothing should be alive out here. She moved faster, following the sound to a small alcove formed by intersecting hull plates. There, curled up against a piece of intact environmental shielding, was something she'd never seen before. It was roughly the size of a house cat, with iridescent scales that shifted from deep purple to silver in the starlight. Membranous wings were folded tightly against its body, and a long, whip-like tail curled around what appeared to be feet? No, talons. Definitely talons. The creature's head was elongated, almost serpentine, with large golden eyes that tracked her movement. With obvious intelligence, a dragon. A tiny, impossible dragon, floating in the vacuum of space. Ana's xenobiology training kicked in. She activated her suit's broad-spectrum scanner, gathering data even as she approached slowly. The creature's bio-readings were weak but stable, and her scanner detected a faint electromagnetic field surrounding it. Some kind of natural life support system. "Hey there, little one," she whispered, knowing the creature couldn't hear her through vacuum, but unable to stop herself. "What are you doing all the way out here?" The dragon's eyes fixed on her helmet, and she could have sworn she saw recognition there. It tried to lift its head, failed, and made that soft whimpering sound again. Ana's heart broke. She didn't hesitate. Her emergency bio-containment pod was designed for samples, but it had its own atmosphere and could support small life forms. She gently scooped up the dragon, noting how it didn't resist, and sealed it inside the transparent container. Immediately, the creature's electromagnetic field interacted with the pod systems, and Ana watched in amazement as the dragon's breathing became more regular. Back on her ship, the Wanderer's Hope, Ana transferred the dragon to her lab's main containment unit. The moment it had a proper atmosphere, the little creature perked up significantly. It pressed itself against the transparent aluminum wall and looked directly at her with those impossibly intelligent golden eyes. "Okay, let's figure out what you are," Ana murmured, pulling up her xenobiology databases. Hours of searching yielded nothing. No known species matched the creature's physiology. It was as if someone had taken every human myth about dragons and somehow made them real, but pocket-sized. Over the next few days, Ana learned several important things. First, the dragon was definitely sentient. It responded to her voice, seemed to understand basic gestures, and showed problem-solving abilities that rivaled some of the more advanced species she'd studied. Second, it was incredibly resilient. Despite being near death when she found it, the creature recovered rapidly once provided with basic care. Third, and most puzzling, it seemed to generate its own energy. Ana's instruments detected microscopic fusion reactions occurring within specialized organs. The dragon was literally powered by the same process that fueled stars. She named him Spark, though she suspected he already had a name of his own. 3 weeks into their journey back to civilized space, Ana made contact with another ship. The captain, a gruff Altarian trader named Vex, agreed to dock for a supply exchange. But when Vex saw Spark, his 4 eyes went wide. By the 7 moons, Vex breathed in heavily accented standard. "Where did you find a Cathara?" "A what now?" Anna asked, instinctively moving between Vex and Spark's enclosure. Cathara. Star dragon. They were the most sacred creatures in my people's mythology, living engines of creation, masters of the cosmic forces. Vex's tentacles writhed with what Anna recognized as excitement. We thought they were extinct for 10,000 years. Anna's mind raced. You're telling me I found a creature your people consider divine? Not just my people, human. The Cathara were known throughout this galaxy. They were the companions of the architects, the ones who built the great stations and shaped the hyperspace lanes. When the architects vanished, the Cathara went with them. Vex studied Spark with something approaching reverence. This one is young, barely past hatching, but see how he watches you? He has chosen you as his companion. Chosen me for what? Vex's laugh was like grinding stone. Human, your species' reputation for being impossibly stubborn is well-deserved. You don't choose a Cathara, Ana Martinez. A Cathara chooses you, and when one does, he gestured at Spark, who was now hovering freely in his enclosure, tiny wings beating in impossible defiance of physics. You become something more than what you were. Over the following months, Anna discovered what Vex meant. Spark wasn't just a companion, he was a translator, a navigator, and somehow a key to understanding technology that had been lost for millennia. When Anna held him, she could sense hyperspace currents that no human instrument could detect. When she spoke to alien traders, Spark's presence seemed to facilitate understanding on a level that went beyond mere language. The little dragon that had been left for dead in a salvage yard was teaching her to see the universe through eyes that had witnessed its birth. But perhaps most remarkably, Spark brought something Anna hadn't realized she'd lost. Joy. His curiosity was infectious, his playfulness a constant reminder that even in the vast darkness between stars, there was wonder to be found. When he performed his aerial acrobatics in the ship's common area, generating miniature aurora displays with his electromagnetic field, Anna found herself laughing in a way she hadn't since childhood. Raza Okafor was waiting when Anna docked at New Geneva Station. The young communications specialist had heard rumors about the human woman traveling with a star dragon, and his scholarly curiosity had gotten the better of him. What he found was Ana Martinez, formerly Dr. Ana Martinez, looking happier than any deep space salvager had a right to be, with a small dragon perched on her shoulder like the universe's most impossible pet. They're calling him useless on the feeds, Raza told her as they sat in the station's observation deck. The ones who don't believe he's real anyway. Anna smiled, watching Spark chase photons from the nearby star, his scales creating tiny rainbows in the filtered light. Let them. He knows what he is. And what's that? Anna's smile widened. Pure joy with wings. As if responding to her words, Spark executed a perfect loop-de-loop in the air, chittering with what could only be described as draconic laughter. Around them, other station visitors stopped their conversations to watch, their faces lighting up with the same wonder Anna felt every day. In a galaxy that often seemed too big and too cold for individual dreams, sometimes the most impossible thing of all was finding exactly what you didn't know you needed.